Hi, this is Team Wavy, and we are the H.E.A.R.T organization. H.E.A.R.T stands for Homeless Engagement and Restorative Trainings.
So this is our team. I'm Ethan Tan, class of 2022 from the College of Arts and Sciences with a major in politics and minors in Asian Pacific American Studies, Chinese Studies, Public Service, and Community Engagement.
My name is Arianna Vazquez. I'm class of 2020 from the School of Management. I'm obtaining my BS in Business Administration, majoring in Management, and a minor in Legal Studies.
Hi everyone, my name is Elmi. I'm also a part of the class of 2020. I'm attaining my BA in Sociology and my minor in Public Service and Community Engagement.
Hi, my name is Jeong, and I'm also class of 2020, and I am also obtaining a BA, but in Psychology. So this is our mission statement for H.E.A.R.T, and but this is our team values. As a collective of individuals seeking to create a sustainable, intentional, and equitable society, we promise to uphold the values of empathy, reflection, community, and forgiveness to combat and understand the issues we choose to fight. So what exactly is our program? H.E.A.R.T is a nonprofit organization that specializes in providing training services to officers. H.E.A.R.T was developed in response to the witness of police violence in homeless communities seen nationwide and especially in San Francisco. The organization's efforts are aimed at equipping officers with the knowledge and resources necessary to aid and uplift houseless communities. H.E.A.R.T develops its training material from the ground up, involving the participation of community members experiencing homelessness, a network of nonprofit partnerships, and mental health professionals. So for the mission statement for H.E.A.R.T is that we want to uplift the voice of houseless individuals affected by police violence and bridge the gap between communities to develop a holistic, dignified, and humane approach to ending the brutality of some of the city's most vulnerable population.
When it came to the research for the H.E.A.R.T initiative and our H.E.A.R.T project, we had 4 initial research questions. 1 being, does this exist nationally? 2, what training already exists for officers in the city of San Francisco? 3, what can be improved from existing training? And 4, where do we come in to help with H.E.A.R.T? For the first question, does this exist nationally? We could not find any programs that acted like ours that serve as a training between the trained police officers in order to better treat the homeless community. We did find, however, that there are homeless outreach teams, otherwise known as H.E.A.T teams, that consist of police officers and social workers that go out in the community together to educate homeless individuals on some resources that they can utilize in order to get themselves out of the situation they're facing and to seek help. In terms of training that already exists, Dan Lawson, who is the head of public safety here at the University of San Francisco, noted that the SFPD uses training called Crisis Intervention Training, or CIT, and it's a general training that doesn't necessarily focus primarily on the homeless, but rather focuses on de-escalating situations between mentally unstable individuals. And with that, what can be improved is that the current CIT training or CIT training doesn't focus on improving relations between the homeless and the police officers and other law enforcement officers. It mainly focuses on de-escalating situations, but our training focuses on preventing situations that have already been escalated by treating the homeless population with respect in the first place so that there's a mutual understanding between both communities. And also, currently there's a gap between social workers, the police, and homeless individuals. So we want to combine all those resources together in one training so police can be educated about different resources that it can provide, and potentially the homeless individuals can go seek out those resources. And also, crisis intervention training is really seen as the last step measure when situations have already escalated to a potentially violent state. So where do we come in? So we see H.E.A.R.T as a model of a homeless outreach team, bringing those people involved in a homeless outreach team to teach police officers and how to better interact with the homeless community. And also we aim to set up trainings to teach officers how to interact in everyday situations, like on the streets, when they patrol the streets. And we see the current training that they have as not adequate, as they're really just taught how to interact in a high stakes situation when things have already escalated too far. And lastly, we want to help teach respect, empathy, and compassion for the officers to better treat the homeless community, as also to educate them on connections and referrals to social workers and shelters and other available resources.
So after obtaining that research and also stating some really hefty and large values, we plan to implement a realistic application of a 3-step initiative training program, or training development. So it focuses on 3 steps conducted over a year. So this is after we've created our partnerships with community organizations and that SFPD has accepted our program. So step 1 focuses on community-based research. So after partnering with community organizations, collaborators, and SFPD to host a town hall, we plan to conduct listening circles. So different than a town hall, which has more of a beck and call response where community members are able to voice their issues, and then whoever is hosting the town hall is able to then speak back their concerns or give some kind of promise. The listening circles are primarily focused on community members, houseless and homeless community members, saying their issues and being heard and listened to. So there would not be no beck and call response from any of the hosts, specifically SFPD. So the point of this step is for us to have a deeper understanding of the day-to-day problems the homeless face by police violence and create an individualistic, centered, and community-based training program. This introduces step 2, collaboration, which would take about 3 to 6 months. So after conversation with homeless community members, mental health professionals, and our community engaged learning partners, the H.E.A.R.T initiative will implement a finalized training program that SFPD will use to retrain all of their officers. From there, police activity data will be collected in the Soma and Tenderloin district through interviews and other means of observation. And lastly, step 3, feedback and analysis. So after 12 months are completed and a year of observation is done, a reevaluation period will be conducted with community-based feedback. And with that feedback, it will be compared with observational data. Edits will be implemented into the training program, and the evaluation period will restart. This means the program will consistently evolve and adapt to the needs of community members rather than perceived issues that aren't supported by any measurable data.
In regards to training implementation, there are 2 main components, which include H.E.A.R.T-hosted classes and community-engaged outings. Both of these components are necessary in order to meet training requirements. So the H.E.A.R.T curriculum is developed from the ground up, as previously mentioned, and focuses on how officers can provide assistance and resources rather than enforcement. Some of the curriculum includes, but is not limited to, nonviolent conflict resolution and communication, community testimonials, the complexities and the causes of homelessness, and design thinking exercises aimed at identifying and empathizing with community needs. Trainees are also equipped with resources to share with the communities they encounter. Participants in the H.E.A.R.T training programs will also have the opportunity to volunteer with one of our community partners in a community-engaged outing. This could look like working with the Coalition on Homelessness outreach teams or serving meals with City Team of San Francisco. These outings serve as an opportunity for participants to challenge their assumptions and beliefs about the homeless community and build relationships with some of our community partners. Some of our community and partners include UCSF, City Team, SF Marin Food Bank, and they really act, the rest really act as someone that not only provides us with the development, but this is going to be, not only helps us develop our training programs, but also in turn we provide them with volunteer. I'm gonna retry that. Some of our community partners include UCSF, City Team San Francisco, and SF Marin Food Bank.
Our critical community partners that we'll be focusing with are Dan Lawson, who's the Director of Public Safety at the University of San Francisco, who has already developed listening circles and a homeless initiative that is based more on aiding the homeless whenever they come onto campus rather than seeing them as targets to apprehend. And then we'd also be continuing partnership with Dr. Antoine Neguse Bland, who under Mayor Breed's administration is focused on giving more mental health resources to the homeless population as a whole. So with these partnerships, we'd like to partner with them to add on to H.E.A.R.T and then also apply H.E.A.R.T to other spaces outside and inside the city.
Our inspiration for why we decided to do this project. Homelessness is a very big problem nationally, especially in San Francisco. Upon doing this project, our group realized how prevalent homelessness was in our community. Most of our topics was about helping the homeless population, but we all voted that police brutality towards homelessness was more commonly seen than talked about. So our group decided to create a program that taught police officers to approach homeless individuals in a different light. There was a time when my coworker told me about a guy she met, and on that date, she ended up asking him why he became an officer. He claimed that he wanted to become an officer to have a gun and get rid of the homeless. This is obviously not the case for the police officers as a whole. There are many officers who generally like to help homeless individuals by giving them food and supplies. But this is one reason I thought it would be good to do our project on.
I think for me, my inspiration comes from being a student at USF and having the privilege to go visit different spaces within San Francisco. And in doing that, I've seen many homeless individuals be mistreated by police officers. And it hurts my heart because I think the homeless community deserves to be treated the same way as everyone else, in a humane way, and shown some respect.
Continuing on with those points, also being a resident of San Francisco for 3 years, the homeless situation is very much upfront and interactive, seeing our homeless brothers, sisters, and gender non-binary siblings sleep on the street, and then also having to be scared of our police officers who are supposed to protect us. As a Black queer man, I've always had a negative relationship with any power authority, specifically the police as a whole. And though I have the privilege of coming home to a space where I'm able to semi-escape from that, the homeless community does not. And they should be treated as important as our house community here in San Francisco. So to create a more equitable society, hopefully the H.E.A.R.T initiative will bring us one step closer to that.
And to add on to that, my inspiration was back in 2016. When news broke out of Luis Gongora, he was shot and killed by SF police officers in the Mission District. And I remember really being disturbed with the unnecessary force used by officers in the altercation. And I knew that this was nothing new, police violence in San Francisco, especially with Black and brown communities. But this moment specifically opened my eyes on how violence, and specifically police violence in homeless communities, is often overlooked, as homeless individuals are dehumanized and often forgotten, and at the same time extremely vulnerable. So my inspiration for this project stems from that experience and it's played a large role in helping me become more informed on this topic. So we decided to also get some testimonials from residents at St. Anthony's. This is from a person named Johnny. I was just trying to sleep. I didn't know I couldn't sleep in some spots of the city. This large police officer came up to my tent and started roughing it up. I have schizophrenia, so I get super anxious if anyone gets too close to me at night, especially at night. He started screaming at me to leave, and when I was getting my things together, he threw my stuff around and took my tent. The next few nights, I got really sick because it was raining and I didn't have any of my things. I felt like he treated me like a stray dog.
Continuing on with these testimonials, this is a testimonial from Linda May, who's also a homeless resident at St. Anthony's. I have mental health issues, and being homeless only worsens our disease. Police officers are supposed to protect us, but I guess I'm not a part of that us. I was trying to smoke with my friend one night, and they arrested us and called us names. I never felt so small and ugly in my life. Since then, every time I look at a cop, my body aches the same way, and I see cops everywhere. We collected these testimonials and many others, again, to create a more collaborative training program and to also have more context of the issue as a whole.
So our initiative has 3 goals, and we have 3 outlooks on our vision. First goal is to create a standard of understanding and mutual respect between the 2 populations, both the police and the homeless community. Second is train SFP officers and its agents to treat the homeless with respect, empathy, and care. And also to ensure that every officer is trained and provided resources and guidance in regards to treating the homeless community better with dignity and respect. And our visions that we have is that we want to expand beyond San Francisco and move on to other Bay Area counties and cities such as Oakland, and also to partner with other agencies and nonprofit organizations to spread the word about our H.E.A.R.T training programs. And lastly, to connect social workers with police departments so that social workers can be better utilized to help assist the unhoused community.
We'd like to lastly say thank you to Bob and Joan McGrath, Lester Deans, Rich Dillon, and Bob Just for giving us the space and tools to present our initiative as a whole. Thank you for letting our idea come to fruition. And we really appreciate you on an individualistic and holistic level. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.